Not a mystery. Will Smith's marriage is plain harmful, and his better half Jada has been dealing with him like a soil. And this time she crossed a different line, as she uncovered one of the greatest mysteries of her significant other. I couldn't say whether Jada implied great by spilling this yet. It seems like she knows something about her better half's personal connection with the dark guardian Quincy Jones. And folks, you will have a hard time believing the stuff that she is saying regarding Quincy's wicked impact. Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live Station. You all, Quincy Jones. He is the man liable for Michael Jackson's best tunes and collections. And he, all through his profession, worked with various jazz, soul, and funk enormous names like Anna Sinatra and Aretha Franklin. And these are a couple of large names that are related with Jones anyway. As it turned out, in specific circles, he's known for his delivering abilities, as well as his upsetting tendencies, and the manner in which he treated a few specialists. This in spite of being frantically regarded in the entertainment biz. Quincy is no odd to some contention, and as per Jada Pinkett Smith, he assumed a gigantic part in tainting her significant other will and going him to close-ited man. Well, there have been charges recommending Quincy's fascinating cozy inclinations. Yet it has never been transparently conceded by the maker. Anyway, many individuals in the business are certain that Quincy is as distant from being straight as an individual can be, so the justification for why Jada feels so miserable and chose to let the cat out of the bag. This is on the grounds that her significant other experienced Quincy's tendencies, as well as one more man that she used to cherish. And no doubt you presumably currently speculated that I'm discussing Tupac, who once dropped a colossal sensation about the maker's off-base inspiration. The rapper uncovered Jones' upsetting activities, and uncovered that he whenever had proposed him to partake in some fascinating movement in the background. And the really stunning thing here is that tell-all interview immediately vanished from wherever suddenly, and Quincy tended to the bits of gossip long after Tupac had been shot. Well, it was extremely helpful for the maker to close down Tales of Dead, and as of now, not about an individual can anticipate address his own viewpoint regarding this situation and verify or refute his explanations, with the correspondent straightforwardly gotten some information about the bits of gossip about offering Tupac to begin close connection. The maker said, "I know individuals who say I needed to lay down with him, man. This is the greatest period of skeptics I've at any point found in my life. I have been known as a blonde darling, a pedo man, love her beginning and end. I don't mind, man, envision my little girl being locked into Tupac and me attempting to have intercourse to him. And I'm not into no, man, I'm a bad to the bone lesbo. Are you joking? For my entire life, for my entire life." Yet it seems like regardless of how hard a few powerful figures are attempting to conceal the detestable things in rec, they make reality generally surfaces somehow, and notwithstanding Quincy's endeavors to delete that meeting of Tupac, everlastingly fans will always remember about what the rapper had expressed. Obviously, Tupac and Quincy Jones had a few tremendous issues between them previously, and the rapper had been vocal about his disappointment and made a few stunning disclosures about his purported companions and colleagues who were just imagining, "I just burned through 11.5 months in a most extreme security prison, had chance multiple times, and was wrongly sentenced for a wrongdoing. I didn't carry out something." Let fans know that Quincy was the individual Tupac had as a primary concern when he was imparting his insights on individuals subjugating others to satisfy their own evil cravings. While Quincy denied all that, it's not difficult to expect that eventually Jones was wanting to make the most of the rapper, since they were in a cozy relationship, and Quincy believed considerably nearer. I mean, it's anything but a mysterious that Tupac was thinking about leaving Death Row Records to sign with Quincy's mark presently before his was gunned down on one episode of Fat Joe's Instagram live series. Kishia Cole uncovered that Tupac had plans to leave Death Row Records to sign to Quincy Jones, mark preceding his less-than-ideal passing in 1996. As Cole said the few days of Mike Tyson's scandalous Vegas battle, that very evening of Tupac's lethal shooting his life partner, stowed away Jones, who has won Quincy's girls, and her sibling criminals rapper Nut. So we're likewise around on the day he passed on Tupac imparted to them. He was intending to leave death row for Quincy Jones' mark, and that he believed that Cole should go along with him, as Keisha said. I really knew Tupac he needed to sign me to Quincy when he was with Kidda Quincy's little girl, and he planned to leave death row and go to sign with Quincy. He maintained that me should go around there, since he said that death row was not the spot for youngsters, and albeit the unexpected demise of the rapper left everybody in the business broke, we may very well never gain proficiency with the reality of his actual connection with Quincy, and whether the maker was truly offering him to turn out to be something other than accomplices in music. And since nobody grieves Tupac as long as Jada Pinkett Smith does, that is presumably why she chose to be vocal about Quincy's barbarities, too, in light of the fact that, as per her, the popular maker likewise laid an eye on one more man in her life. And this time he truly succeeded. Well, Will Smith's private life has been at the center of attention, starting from the earliest days of recorded history. And whenever he was blamed for attacking a male artist without asking his assent, and that is for what reason the start of this insane show about Will's mysterious life, since his association with Jada has frequently been viewed as capricious over their whole marriage. The pair has confronted endless tales in regards to their selectiveness, and there were even charges about young fellows leaving their chateau with an unpleasant face demeanors. Well, it just adds to hypotheses that will goes either way. And as Jada attempts to imply, it had all begun with Quincy Jones fans rushed to accept her story in light of the fact that many hints lead to this as individual composed. That is the way Will Smith got new ruler Quincy Jones possessed the organization. Yet Will needed to do a few stuff with Quincy, and the rest is history, as someone else dissed Jada for flapping her gums, since it's not whenever she first places a spouse into awkward situation by spilling what ought to have remained secret. This is this fan's message, and oh well. Business as usual. I ought to have realized it wouldn't be excessively some time before Jada tosses soil on Will's great name again. That is the reason her little show was dropped. Well, Jada has ended up being a terrible wife for a really long time, and clearly will glean some useful knowledge from her and his other damaging encounters with Quincy, since by what other means would you make sense of that the entertainer has abandoned a casualty into a victimizer himself like that reality, that Will was kissing his child on the lips in the general population? If you were to ask me, I think that it is frightening and nauseating, and it appears as though there's just a single clarification of such a horrendous nurturing. And Jada previously referenced it. Well, several has demonstrated that there was nothing conventional about them, and taking into account the reports about their dreadful gatherings for pleasure seekers and youthful guys, I simply need to understand what sort of involvement could Tom damage. Well, such a lot of that he transformed into an individual where he picked all his sketchy procedures. Evidently, he could gain some useful knowledge from his nights with Quincy Jones. The incomparable maker had been in the business for a long time, and he gets straight to the point with regards to probably the greatest stars like Jones was first to claim that Marlon Brando